Since 2016, Google thought they can demonstrate true stock Android by releasing expensive flagship phones instead of the already amazing Nexus line. Sadly, every single Pixel branded phone made by Google sucks. They were underpowered, extremely hypocritical, and overpriced devices, even compared to the Android competition. This is a reputation Google has on not just their smartphone line, but anything branded as a Pixel. And now it's that time of year again, when we get more details about the next Pixel devices. Once again, we actually have details that make the next Pixel seem like a promising device. But after 5 years of the game of Boy Who Cried Wolf, I'm really questioning, is Google actually trying this time? Many Android users back in 2016 were very excited about a made by Google smartphone. They were excited to see Google, the owner and developer of Android, show us the way pure Android was meant to be. Though, to be honest, I don't know if you've noticed, but we've never really got that. The original Google Pixel was so bad. Giant iPhone 7 Plus style bezels with no functionality, very slow and buggy. Stock Android, am I right, people? Poorly placed buttons and headphone jack. Also, you thought the iPhones were overpriced pieces of junk? Trust me. The Pixel was an even worse value compared to the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. The list goes on and on. I have no idea how Marques Brownlee selected the Pixel as MVP of 2016. Because I've never seen or heard of such a terrible device like the Pixel. The Pixel 2 did no favors for Google, mainly because it showed a lot of hypocrisy. Google advertised the iPhone is stupid because it didn't have a headphone jack. Well, Pixel 2 removed it. The bezels were still outrageously thick, especially for 2017, and it was still a slow performer. Combined with another expensive price tag for such a bad device, it didn't help the Pixel's case. We then moved to 2018 to personally what I think has to be the worst Pixel ever. There was a rumor going around of an all-screen Pixel, aka the Pixel Ultra. We didn't get that. The Pixel 3 had to be the worst device ever. The smaller variant had horrible battery problems, and the larger variant, the 3XL, had by far the unanimously agreed upon worst designed notch in the history of notches. Both phones had bumpy releases, including problems like no OS installed, apps constantly crashing, durability problems, and a software bug that added a second notch. How do you manage that? The worst part, this was more expensive than the previous Pixel. Yikes. 2019 didn't have much improvement. While yes, the XL model got rid of that stupid notch, it still had a huge forehead that looked more 2016-ish than 2019-ish. The Sully chip that Google was so proud of wasn't very applicable. The air gestures were a gimmick at best. Face scanner still wasn't as secure as Face ID. The general problem was the hype, and because it didn't live up to it, Marques Brownlee gave that phone Bust of the Year of 2019. I have no idea if Google actually asked for the award to be sent to them. 2020's Pixel 5 did get cheap, yes, but that's because Google decided to cheap even more on the phone than ever. Plastic back, lower end Snapdragon chip, generally a cheaper phone that wasn't very exciting to the Pixel community. What about the 3A and 4A? They were more reasonably priced budget phones, right? Yeah. They were about as reasonably priced as a 300% markup. Back when I had my Samsung Galaxy A50, that phone was cheaper than both of those phones and did much more than both of those phones combined. Oh, and the A50 was $50 cheaper than the 4A and $100 cheaper than the 3A. So if you've never understood why I've always hated the Pixel, no, it has nothing to do with logos. If Samsung made these, I would hate it. If Apple made these, I would hate them. If any other company made these phones, I would hate them. These phones are objectively bad compared not just to Apple, but also Samsung, OnePlus, and so many other Android OEMs. And don't even get me started on the camera argument. Sure, the Pixel is great at taking photos and spits out comparable photos to Samsung and Apple. But that's just in photos! And since I use phones to record YouTube videos, video performance is more important to me than photo. And it's almost as if video performance doesn't matter to Pixel fans. They refuse to acknowledge that video performance is never great as the best iPhone or just about any other flagship phone. So, with my perspective in mind, no! The Pixel does not have the best camera in a smartphone. Honestly, if you think I dislike the Pixel because of who made it, then you're a complete fool. I like Samsung phones because Samsung actually makes decent hardware. I don't use Samsung anymore because iOS offers me a better overall experience for my needs in a smartphone than what Samsung has to offer. OnePlus is very well respected by the tech community, and I like OnePlus too, because they make great products for sometimes I think are worth a little less than what they should be. Google, on the other hand, they have stock Android and photo diehards, but their general hardware and experience doesn't equate anywhere near as good as Apple, Samsung, or OnePlus. Google even has this problem with not just the phone, but any other Pixel branded product. The Pixelbook, for example, actually, unlike the phone, has great hardware. You can get that thing up to a Core i7 and 16 gigs of RAM for $1,600. Here comes the problem. The device runs Chrome OS, which is basically a web browser. Now, yes, we can do all sorts of things on the web, but what happens if the internet gets cut out for any odd reason? Oh, the browser's useless. Not to mention, you can't even log into a Chrome OS device without internet connection, so, yeah. Better have stable internet to run a $1,600 web browser. There's a reason why Chromebooks are so cheap. Affordable. Okay, Alpha, we get it. You don't like the Pixel because it's not good. But I clicked this video because I wanted to learn more about Pixel 6. Can we just get to talking about the Pixel 6 now? Fine. Despite how I've never been impressed with the Pixel, I do still listen to the leaks so I can find out how bad the next Pixel is. Well, to be honest, this time, I'm getting a completely different vibe. I did fall for the Pixel 4 letdown before, and ever since, I've always thought the next Pixel is going to be much worse than these leaks are making it to seem. But these current rumors leaked by John Prosser at FPT, the features that are being leaked aren't really normal for a Pixel. First of all, Google should know at this point that the Pixel is a bad phone. The tech community is constantly complaining about the performance, or lack thereof, and they also should have figured out by now that even a regular, average, everyday, non-techie consumer has a hard time justifying the prices that Google is asking for these things. Sure, the iPhone might not have as many hardware features as some of the competition, but most iPhone users put more value into software rather than the hardware. That's why people have always been willing to pay Apple more money. I'm willing to pay more for a software experience I believe is better. But a lot of the Android community isn't about that. Android users love the choice of hardware and how it allows them to buy phones with the hardware features that they find more valuable than others. Google's hardware has never lived up to that. It's as if Google never took the Pixel seriously and the only thing they cared about was photography software. But these leaks beg to differ. Google is working on their own processor. That's the biggest leak that got my attention. Depending on if Google can get this chip right, they might be able to actually solve the performance problem. The Pixel 6 is also finally getting a healthy amount of RAM for Android, because we should all know by now, RAM management isn't as efficient as iOS. Storage is finally more reasonable with 128 gigs as standard and up to 512 on the 6 Pro. But the best part? 5 years of software support! Everyone knows how bad Android updates are. With most Android phones, you're generally lucky to get at least 2 years of updates. Samsung is working on getting 3 years despite how delayed they are. OnePlus has been okay, but Pixel is now jumping from 3 to 5. Apple has put a lot of effort over the years to keep the iPhone going and is still breaking the record, currently at 7 years with the 6S. Now, by the time we reach the Pixel 11, Google will be dropping support for the Pixel 6, which I consider to be a very respectable number. The question I have left is the Pixel 6 really as great as it seems? Or is this just another example of the boy who cried wolf? If you need my opinion, after 5 years of producing crappy phones and all the hypocrisy in their marketing, I'm just not so sure. I have no idea if Google is actually trying this time, or if they're just trying to play another bad joke on us. So despite that these leaks are pointing towards a great potential, I'm gonna play devil's advocate and think it's just another game. Google has never made a single hardware product that is actually decent. And because their main focus is the ad space, like Facebook, Google just never put any care into the Pixel. So I can only assume the same thing will happen just like the last 5 Pixels. The rumors have been promising, but the actual product itself is garbage. So I can only assume the same thing will happen just like the last 5 Pixels. The rumors are promising, and the actual product itself is garbage. Thanks for putting up with me today. I am absolutely roasting in this room because I can't have my window open thanks to Canadian fires. And that my nose is kind of plugged at the moment and I don't have a tissue box in here. So thank you for putting up with me in my condition. Also, shout out to Tilosa Tech for making this awesome shirt because, well, I love it. And that concludes the video. Thank you for watching. Do me a favor and interact with the stuff below. My name is Alpha DeWolf, Random Alpha, signing out.